Hello everyone, this is a guide to help you through Excel project number 2. First we want to begin by downloading the Excel link that's on your Blackboard in week 2, I believe it is, 12. And then you'll pull up the Excel, and then your first instruction is to state if you're independent or dependent. I said I'm dependent. Secondly, we're supposed to put the fixed rate in. We'll go to the Ferris's website up there, and right here it says your fixed rate is 3.76. So we'll go back here, change it to a percentage, and put 3.76. Enter. Next, our instructions say to insert the correct amount for the loan origination fee. So we'll go back to our website. Our loan origination fee is 1.9069. So change this to a percentage again. 1.069. Enter. Next, in B11, insert the correct amount for the limit. So we're going to go back to our Ferris website, scroll down, and here we see our limits. Annual loan limits. For subsidized, it's $3,500, and for unsubsidized, it's $2,000. If you are a freshman, if you're a sophomore, or higher, your subsidized is greater. I'm a junior, so I'm going to say my limit is $5,500. We're going to want to change this to currency. 5,500. Next, it says to put our limit in for our unsubsidized, which I believe is 2,000. It's 2,000 for everybody. Change this to currency. $2,000. Our instructions in number 5 say, what if we dropped a class in our first year and it is paid for with an subsidized loan? Insert the figures into the following scenario to find out. Insert what you pay per credit hour in C27 and the number of credits in D27. In the instructions, it gives you a link to go find what you pay per credit hour. So that's right here. I'm a junior and senior, so I'm going to go with this one. If you're a freshman or sophomore, you go with this one. So I pay $403 per credit hour. I'm going to put 403 in here. And however many credits that is. So say that class is 4 credits. It then develops your whole cost. This is how much you will lose if you drop that class. At least. That's not including textbooks or anything else. Our next instructions in 6 are to insert the subsidized and unsubsidized annual limits in cells C44 through D47. So we go back to our Ferris website and basically copy this verbatim. So 2,000, 2,000, 2,000 will be our unsubsidized. So we can just enter 2,000 right there and drag it down. For subsidized, it's going to be 3,500, 4,500, 5,500, and 5,500. So 3,500, 4,500, 5,500, 5,500. Oops, can't type. And that will complete this tab. Our next instructions are to go over to the next tab, My Loan Amount, and insert the years you plan on to attend college. in C3 through J3. So I plan on attending college for 4 years. So I'm going to put in my freshman year, my sophomore year, my junior year, and my senior year. If you were going into graduate school, you would also put 4 more years right here. Alright, now we put in what we're going to put for what we take out for our loans. Next, we put in what we're going to take out from our unsubsidized loans and subsidized loans. So my freshman year, I didn't take out any subsidized loans. But say I took out a $2,000 unsubsidized loan. So I put that there. For my sophomore year, I say I took out a $1,000 subsidized loan. I also took out a $2,000 unsubsidized loan. For my junior year, we'll say I took out a $2,000 subsidized loan and a $2,000 unsubsidized loan. My senior year, I'll take out a $5,000 subsidized and a $2,000 unsubsidized. So my total amount of loans I'm going to take out is $16,000. Next, we are going to fill out these 3 boxes. The interest rate comes from this tab right here, the fixed rate. So we can either just type it in, or we can do an equals and go to the tab and click on here, on the rate, and then enter. Next, we have to make a PMT formula. So we start with an equals then, and then type in PMT in the PMT formula. Double click on it. Our rate will be this, the interest rate. And then we comma. The NPR will, for our rate, we're going to want to divide by 12 because that is how many months are in a year. And that's our annual interest rate there, and we want to make it monthly. So divide by 12, comma. Our NPR will be 120 because that's how many terms there are. Next, our PV, which stands for principal value, will be our total number right here, 16,000. But before we do that, we have to turn it negative. So we'll go up there and put negative. Close that parenthesis and press enter. That's how much you're going to have to pay each month for 10 years to pay off that loan. Next, we are going to do the 20-year plan. So it's going to be the same thing, equals PMT. Our rate is going to be the same, divide by 12, because that's how many months are in a year, comma. The only thing different is there's going to be 240 terms because there's 240 months in 20 years. Our principal value is going to be negative 16,000, and close that parenthesis. That's how much you're going to pay in every month for 20 years to pay off that loan. Next, we are going to be filling out these boxes. So, the year I stop attending school and start paying off my loans, if I graduate on time, it should be 2018. I will borrow 16,000, so I can either type it in or just do equals K9, K6, equals. If I pay it off in 10 years, I will pay, so a total amount of how much you're going to pay. It's not the 16,000. It's going to be equals this times 120, because that's how many terms there are. That's how much you're going to pay in 10 years instead of the actual 16,000, because there's going to be interest. We do the same thing for this cell. We do 94.95 times 240, so that's how many terms there are. And you'll be paying around $23,000 if you take 20 years to pay it off, instead of $16,000. Now we have to find out just the interest, how much you paid in interest. So what we're going to do is equals 10 years, that's how much we're paying, subtract your actual loan amount, enter. That's how much you pay in interest. We do the same thing for 20 years. Grab the 22,000, subtract it from 16,000, and you will end up with 6,700 about. That's how much you're going to be paying in interest if you take 20 years to pay off your loan. Before we go on to the next tab, we're going to want to name some of these tabs. So go to this one and name it Rate. Up here, we can name the cells by going up to the upper left-hand corner and erasing this and typing in Rate, because that's going to be our annual rate. And then enter. So that cell is called Rate. We're also going to want to name these two cells. So we can call this one 10-year plan. You can't use any spaces or characters in this either. You have to use strictly letters. Enter. Down here we can do 20-year plan. 20-year plan. Enter. Next we'll move on to the next tab. My payments for 10 years. In here we're going to want to do the year it is and what month. So you can type in January 2018 because that's when I'm going to be graduating and paying off my loan. Okay, so I'm going to switch it up a little. So grab the cell and then put in 1-2018 because I'm going to be paying off my loans every first of the month, and I'm going to be starting 2018. So I'll go down here and then do 2-1-2018, enter. Now I already formatted this one. With this one, we're going to want to change to a date and then format cells and scroll down until we see the March 12 one. That'll show you, here's a sample of what it's going to look like. So you click OK, and then we can grab these two cells and drag them down for 10 years. It's going to be which is going to be around December of 2017. So we can go back up until we get to December of 2017 or 2027. Alright, October, November, December. What these pound signs mean is that the word is too long to display into the case, into the cell without it overlapping into the next one. So we can simply just double click on that one and it'll fix that all. Next, we're going to want to put in our numbers for our term. So it's going to be month 1, enter 2, 3. You could do that the whole way down, or you could just enter a few, and then drag this down till it reaches 120, which should end around same time. Next, our before balance. So that's going to be our first month. So that's going to be 16,000. So we're going to do equals, go to the My Loan Amount tab, and click on your total for your loan, and then enter. Next, we have our payment, which is going to be, we're in the 10-year plan, so we can simply just type in equals 10, and then our 10-year plan pops up. Since this is going to be a constant, we can just go to the fill box right here and double click so it drives down all the way. Our interest is going to be using an IPMT formula. So we're going to go type in equals IPMT, pops up that. Our rate is going to be our rate we typed in the other tab. So we'll find this, double click on it, divide it by 12 because that's our annual rate. We want our monthly rate. Now we're going to go out for our per, which is going to be 1 because we're paying for that month. Then comma, our NPR is going to be how many terms there are in total. So it's going to be 120 terms, comma. And then we're going to put a negative sign and then grab this number because that's what we're interesting on. And then close the parenthesis. And that's how much interest there is on that payment. It's gradually going to get smaller as it goes down because there's going to be less of a balance. Now for our balance after, we're going to create a formula. So it's going to be equals our original balance, and we're going to subtract that from our payment plus our interest, because we have to pay our interest and our payment. Close the parenthesis, enter. That's going to be our balance afterwards. So then month 2 comes around, that's how much we have to pay. So we're going to simply go equals this cell, enter. And then from there, we should have the basic foundation down, so we can simply go down here and press the fill box. It'll show all zeros because right now it's referencing these couple cells and there's nothing in it. But that's fine, we're going to put something in it real soon. We go down to this cell, double click, same thing, there's going to be zeros. But once we get to this one, it should all fill out. And it did. Alright, we should scroll down and it should be 0. If it's not, then we have a problem. Up here we added the interest and payment, but technically the interest is already a negative. So we're going to want to subtract that. So once you subtract a negative, it's going to become a plus. Enter. And then we can drag this one down again. And now the last cell should equal 0, which it does. That's a common mistake that happens, so watch out for that. Next, we're going to do the same thing we did for 10 years, but for 20 years. So click on your 20 years, payments for 20 years. Go over here. We can actually click on this cell, drag it down until your last one. Control C, which copies. Go back to this tab. And then Control V, which will paste it. That's for 10 years though. So we're going to want to highlight all these again and drag it down a little further until we're down to 20 years, which should be around year 2037. December of 2037. Oops, we passed it. Here it is. And same thing with the month. 1, 2, 3. You can keep on going down, or you can simply just do this and double click the pointer and the very corner, that will drag it all the way down. And it should equal 240. Perfect. When you go to the pointer, it only goes down to your last cell filled out right here. Alright. So our balance before is going to be the 16,000 we got from our loan amount tab. So we can simply go equals, go back to the loan amount tab, go to this one, and click enter. Our payment is going to be our 20-year payment. So it's going to be equals 20-year payment plan equals. We can drag that one down the whole way too by going to the corner and double clicking. Our interest is going to be another IPMT formula. So it's going to be equals IPMT, double click on it. Our rate is going to be our rate, which is the 3.76. Go right here, click on it, divide by 12, because that's how many months are in a year. You want to make it a monthly interest rate, comma. There's going to be 240 terms in this equation, because there's 20 years. There's 240 months in 20 years. We're going to comma, or, well, scratch that. Our per is our 1. That's what month we're paying for. Comma, then it's your 240. That's how many years there are in 20, how many months there are in 20 years. Comma, our principal value, which is right here. And then close the parenthesis. Equal, enter. Oh, see how it turned out to be a negative? If we just put a negative in front of the C3 right here, it'll turn that into a positive. So now we use the same formula we did before and go equals this balance subtracting what we paid plus our interest, but since the interest is already a negative, we're going to want to subtract a negative. So it's going to be minus E3. Close that parenthesis and equal, enter. And then go right here. This should equal your F3, because that's your new balance. Enter. And then you can simply drag these down. Drag all of these down. Once again, it should equal 0 at the last cell. We scroll down, it equals 0. That should do it for the basic foundation, but let's check over if we forgot anything. Change your name into who you are. Again, if you were doing more years, you would put that there. Change your name. If you wanted to get fancy, you could put a bottom border on this to make it look nicer. Go up here and put a thick bottom border on it, make it look nice. You can also grab this whole cell and put a side border on it. You can go to more borders and then simply just put it on this side. You can make it thicker, you can make it thinner, however you like it. You don't have to do this either, that's not in the instructions. But yeah, that's about it. That's all you have to do.